We're here at Electric Forest with Jasper Mosier. His company, the Electric Dream Machine, has been doing all of the projection mapping at this event for the past 4 years. So tell me, Jasper, how would you say your production has grown since you first started?
It has come a long way the last 4 years, for sure. I don't remember exactly how many we started off with, but each year we managed to bring up bigger projectors, cooler video content, and most importantly, more knowledge about how to piece all this together on such a limited timeline. We didn't really know what to expect our first year in the forest. No part of this production came with an instruction book, so despite our best efforts to meticulously plan everything out beforehand, a lot of the projector placement and animation techniques just have to be figured out on site by seeing what works and what doesn't. The evolution has been quite the adventure. We currently have 40 Epson projectors mounted in the trees and feel pretty good about this being our best production yet.
What are the biggest challenges you face while attempting to mount all of your projectors so far away from any kind of infrastructure?
The biggest challenge is definitely the weatherproofing. Not only do we have to protect all of our equipment from the rain, but when it comes to high-end electronics, the dust is a serious threat as well. This means taking on the elaborate task of building a specific case for each different model projector. After that, they all have to be mounted in a way capable of braving the elements for several weeks without any movement or technical issues. Some of our projectors are mounted 50 feet up in the trees, and you couldn't possibly get a lift in here after the festival starts. We don't get a second chance if something slips, so we go above and beyond to make sure that everything is super solid and ready to rock for the entire month.
How is the content managed and run throughout the festival at all these different installations?
Most of the choreography and sequencing is put together before the festival even starts. I like to make quite a few different scenes to keep it interesting throughout the entire event. Once the structure is totally built and the projector is solid, we get to sit down and pick apart every little section of the installation. We see how the colors and content react with each surface and then do our best to make all the pieces complement each other in the most interesting ways possible. The idea is to kind of breathe a digital soul into each installation and bring them to life in a way that fits the magical vibe the forest already has going on. After we've put together all of our different scenes, we use the Resolume software's autopilot features to make individual elements morph from one look to the next. Once the timing is all dialed in, we are able to walk away from the installation and rely on the software to execute our transitions flawlessly for the rest of the event.
You mentioned Resolume. Is that the software used to run all of the projection mapping?
We do use a long list of other softwares to create the content used for our installations, but Resolume is the one that ties it all together. Not only does it handle all of our projection mapping, but it also provides a whole universe of effects and tricks to make everything that much more interesting. Resolume is the muscle behind the magic, and we couldn't accomplish half of what we have going on here without it.
So you have 40 Epson projectors here, all set up in a pretty rugged environment. How are they handling the elements, and how are they handling everything the patrons of the forest have to throw at them while they're appreciating your projections?
The Epson projectors seem to be the only thing that can handle everything we throw at them. They are just rock stars. They're tough, bright, versatile, and hands down the best option for projection mapping in this environment. We've tried most every other brand on the market. Nothing seems to hold up that well or deliver the same quality final product as the Epsons do. This is our first year being able to use exclusively Epson brand projectors at Electric Forest, and the results have been incredible. It's the first year ever that we haven't had any issues with the equipment at all, and the end result seems to have more life behind it than ever before.
What's the main difference between the Epson projectors and the other brands you've tried?
We've learned the hard way in the past that when other brands advertise their projectors as having 3, 5, or even 10,000 lumens of light output, what they're referring to is their output of white light. This means that you can go buy a big brand name 7,000 lumen projector, but when you get everything set up, you find that your reds, greens, and blues are only a fraction as bright as you expected. When it comes to projection mapping and artistic animation, the vibrance of your colors is everything when it comes to your final product. Epson measures their lumen count and color brightness, and the resulting difference in image quality is night and day. After sampling every other brand and personally owning over 100 Epson projectors of all shapes and sizes, I can confidently say that Epson is the best option for animating huge wizards in the wilderness with your friends.
What can you tell us about the event itself? Are there any aspects of Electric Forest you would say are your favorite?
This place is just pure magic everywhere you look and as far as your eyes can see. The creativity and attention to detail involved with the artistic installations is fascinating. The whole scene here feels like some imagination-fueled amusement park that takes place in another dimension. Not only because of how awesome everything looks, but also because there's so many hidden attractions spread across such a vast area. The otherworldly feeling seems to go on forever with no real defined borders of where it's all supposed to begin or end. The combination of Electric Forest's inviting interactive foundation and the loving participatory nature of the patrons makes the space feel much more like a community than any kind of scheduled event. There's just no other place or life experience quite like it. The most treasured part of this event for me personally is that 3 years ago, it's where I met the one true love of my life. Shelby and I became best friends immediately, and then fell head over heels in love immediately after that. We have been traveling the world on a non-stop run of crazy adventures and making our magic happen all over the globe ever since. To me, Electric Forest isn't just a music festival, it's a love story. Not just between two people, but between all people and the beautiful existence we can create in the short time that we are here. If you would like to join Shelby and I on our adventures as we take our ever-growing collection of Epson projectors all over the world, you can find us on social media or check out our website, theelectricdreammachine.com. We specialize in animating existing artwork of all mediums and creating fully immersive projection mapped environments. Each project takes us to a completely different scene, most of which is going from one epic party to the next. We would love to have you come along, so click the link below to find out more.